Welcome to On Thick Ice, a podcast about navigating relationship intricacies by two people who are just trying to make one work. I'm Emily.
And I'm John. Each week, we'll be tackling the pressing issues we all face in our relationships but rarely address head on.
Ladies and gentlemen, fall is approaching. The leaves are turning, the air is crisp, the candles smell like pumpkin spice and public humiliation. That's right, it's Adulterous Autumn. If you are chronically online like me, you've been bombarded for the last few weeks with seemingly perfect husbands acting like morons and cheating on their wives and getting caught. Or maybe you're like Johnny, you don't waste your life on Twitter and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Either way, this is the perfect episode for you because we're talking about the famous wife guys who cheat on their wives and ruin their marriages. Is there a reason this phenomenon keeps happening? Can anyone trust their husband? Are all men just trash? Let's talk about it. So if you don't know what a wife guy is, it's basically a guy who makes his entire brand or like part of his brand about loving his wife. He talks about her constantly, he posts her on social media, she's part of the content that he creates. It can be cute and sweet and like, oh my god, hashtag goals, but for some reason these guys keep screwing it up big time. Okay, so I feel like a lot of topics that we've gone into on this show, before I broached you with this idea of doing this episode, you had no idea what the wife guy thing was, right?
No, not at all. I don't know if I still do. But
Oh, I was going to say, after all the research you've done, you're probably an expert on it after today.
it's not a matter of the research. It's a matter of the extra questions.
Right. So, just taking advantage of the fact that you have no idea what's going on, and maybe some of you listening don't either, I'm going to talk you through the three big wife guy scandals. These are the pinnacle. These are the ones that just showed the world what's going on with the wife guys, okay? And we're going to start with the OG wife guy, John Mulaney. So let me just put this out there real quick. This is all alleged drama, of course, but we can't talk about wife guys without talking about John Mulaney. So John Mulaney and Anna Marie Tendler, they are the perfect picture perfect couple, right? They get married in 2014, and John has never, ever been shy about talking about her and their home life together as part of his act. They adopted a French bulldog, and when he was on press circuits, like doing the Ellen show, he was quick to pull out pictures of Anna and the dog, telling everyone, that's my wife and my daughter. That was my very bad John Mulaney impression. I do not do that well. So you didn't know about the drama, but we've seen John Mulaney in person before and we've watched his set. So you know, like, their relationship has been a huge part of his set over the years. Even when we just saw him, I think like 2019, he was still talking about her. Some famous quotes from his sets that have to do with his wife, Anne Marie. My wife is a bitch and I like her so much.
That was better.
That was better, right?
Better. Yeah.
She's a 5-foot dynamite Jewish bitch and I love her. When my wife walks down the street, she doesn't care what anyone thinks of her in any situation at all. She's my hero. And then one of his most famous bits is that he hates Timothée Chalamet, who's an actor. I don't know if you know that.
I don't.
Okay, he's an actor. Because my wife is in love with this Timothée Chalamet son of a bitch. It's a joke, but it's not a joke and it hurts my feelings. I'm getting good. I think I have a career here.
Oh, yeah. Get her behind a mic and a soundboard and
the power trip. It's happening.
Yeah. So I do recall, and it's kind of hard to miss the whole like wife bit.
Right.
He's very forward about that.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond watching a special or two with you, and seeing him live, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know anything about him prior to that. But even with the little that I did see of him, it wasn't hard to miss the emphasis on the wife and the dog.
Right. I think the dog is Petunia.
Yes, it is actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good comedy, and I did feel it was a bit edgy at times,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, that can be said about almost any major comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the ones you remember anyways.
Right. The ones that stick out.
Right, exactly. So I think that was it. I was just agreeing with the fact that I do recall, and that the wife bit really stuck out, even with very limited exposure to said person.
Yeah, it's just something that you knew about him.
Right.
If you heard the name John Mulaney, you probably knew that he jokes about his wife. So, like, at that point, like when we saw him and when we were like watching specials and things like that, like I still thought they were a really cute couple. I think she's adorable. First of all, they are They were definite, like, goals. And, like, if you joked about me like that, whether you're a comedian or not, just in general, if you told people my wife is a bitch and I like her so much, I would find that endearing because I know you. You say I love you, bitch, to me all the time. Like, I get that. So when you're in that mind space, I think it's easy to assume that she probably felt the same way. Maybe that was just their relationship and it was endearing to her too. But I don't know. On the surface with them, everything seems like it was going swimmingly. They had their cute little life and their cute little dog, happily married, successful, thriving careers. However, John's solo career was somewhat reliant on his quirky relationship stories and how he loves his wife, that bitch.
Well said.
Thank you. So yeah, this is 2019. I think this is like peak John Mulaney internet meme time. And then COVID happens. So 2020, COVID hits, the world shuts down, everyone's stuck in their houses. John Mulaney is in recovery for alcohol and cocaine addiction, but he relapses. He went to rehab in September 2020, but he left early to go host SNL. And then he relapsed again and went back to rehab in December 2020.
Yeah, so the show that he actually left rehab for aired on Halloween.
Yeah, we watched it earlier.
Yeah. It was all right. But what I did notice is, what did he not mention?
His wife.
Right.
Not once.
Right.
Which is it's an odd bird thing.
Yeah.
He talked about his family. He talked about New York, but he did not mention his wife.
You know what we didn't do?
What did we not do?
We did not look at the other three. What are they called? Monologues? Because that was his fourth.
True, yes.
So I don't know if it's just a common thing there. Like, they're just like, no, you ain't talking about your wife, B.
I don't know. He was a writer for SNL, so I think he kind of gets free reign to do what he wants.
Yeah, that's also true. But
it's just
well.
It's just an interesting thing to point out, you know, that he's not mentioning his wife on the whatever.
He might have forgot her. He did just get out of rehab.
That's true.
He left rehab to go do this.
To go do SNL, which if there's ever a reason to leave rehab early, I think that's a good one. Yeah, so he goes back to rehab in December 2020 after he relapsed again. He completes the 60-day program. He's out in February. May 2021, he and Anna Marie announced that they're getting divorced.
They announced.
Exactly. They announced it.
Divorced.
Yes. Yes. They came out, social media, all that stuff. And of course, there's a lot of shock and speculation because they seem like the perfect couple. And because John Mulaney is so beloved and people don't really know Anna Marie and we like to blame things on women, a lot of people blamed it on his addiction and, more importantly, her inability to deal with his addiction, which is not fair for either of them to be blamed for those things.
Interesting. So I guess they were backing John.
Yes.
And going against Anna.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, there was a lot of shock. I was trying to explain this to John before. It was one of those things where if you remember, it was like, it was the Michael Jackson dying of 2021. Everybody who was online remembers where they were when John Mulaney and Anna Marie announced they were getting divorced.
I don't remember.
I said anyone who was online.
I was online.
You weren't on Twitter.
I was not.
Okay, that's what I mean. And then it gets even more interesting. This is when the twist happens, because it comes out that John Mulaney is already dating Olivia Munn. Not only are they dating, but she's fucking pregnant. Okay? Bitch is knocked up. So the timeline here is very messy for a while. No one knows when they started dating, if there was overlap. There's just a lot of speculation. No one's commenting on it. No one's saying anything. So yeah, no one knows when they actually officially broke up, when Anna moved out, when he started dating Olivia, when she got pregnant. No one knows. It's just, hey, they're dating. She's having a baby. Whatever. Then the baby is born in December. And that clears up the timeline a little bit, because that means it was conceived well before May when he and Anna announced their split. They could have still been separated, who knows, but it was also right when he got out of rehab, which is like, that's the number one rule of going to rehab, is don't get into a relationship right when you get out of rehab. But what does he do? He comes out and fucking knocks up Olivia Munn, right? Insane. So it was...
Who actually follows those rules, though? I mean, do you know how many plants I killed after rehab?
So, okay, it was never actually confirmed that he cheated. No one's ever said it. But the timeline adds up. he cheated on his wife, he knocked up Olivia, although the other thing, he made it very publicly clear over and over again that he was not interested in having kids with Anna Marie. And maybe she wasn't interested in it either, maybe it was a mutual thing, but it's just one of those like, you were very, very public about not wanting to have a child with your wife, and then Olivia Munn comes along and all of a sudden you don't know what a condom is. Interesting, John Mulaney. Very interesting.
Interesting indeed, John Mulaney. Yeah, so that timeline that you're indicating, I suppose it would show that John could have cheated on Anna Marie,
right?
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But what if there was a different timeline?
Okay, intriguing.
Yeah.
Do you have another timeline for me?
Would you accept that?
I don't know if I would accept it, but I'd be willing to hear it.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, considering all the silence around the details of the topic and all the fun stories, John and Olivia about meeting in a church or meeting at what's his Seth Meyers'
wedding.
Yeah, the wedding, or claims of them being seen in photos together back in 2019, or even stories allegedly from Olivia that date back to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of all the fun stories and obvious lies, I don't do well with minimal concrete details.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Kind of like Mulaney during lockdown. It's just not good. Sorry, that was low blow. My bad. So
I think the blow was a lower blow, if I'm being honest.
So moving on. You know what happens when I don't have enough info and need answers, right?
Yeah, you drive me insane. You do research.
Okay, there I go. I pulled an all-nighter, cross-referenced about 100 articles, and started to build out my own timeline based on referential information provided in each article. You know, mostly all articles are pretty much carbon copies.
Yeah.
I mean, you read this one, you read that one. It's basically all the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there are always little dribs and drabs of info that are seemingly unimportant. But if you find the right combos of dribby-drabby differences, yes, after pulling an all-nighter, that is what I'm calling.
He really did pull an all-nighter. It's not a joke.
Yeah. So you might just find what you're looking for if you look at these little subtle details and things, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I do have to admit, I'm actually very impressed with where I landed on this, to be honest with you. So,
okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You sure you're ready?
Oh. Yeah, I'm ready, babe.
Okay, he cheated.
Oh, that's it? That's it?
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
Oh, man. That's good. I think the sick face was on my side for that one.
I think so.
All right. So, for real, let's see if you can debunk my alleged. I'm saying alleged.
Yes. It's all alleged. Alleged.
Revised timeline, and I repeat, alleged. Today's special word is alleged or allegedly.
Yes.
Okay, dokie. Also, some of this stuff you already kind of covered a little bit earlier, but okay. I'm just going to do it again.
You got to warp it into your timeline.
Continuity. So, here is basically where my story starts.
Okay.
So, lockdown, March 2020, due to COVID. Like me, Mulaney did not cope well during lockdown.
Right.
Reportedly, of course.
Yes.
Between March and September, Mulaney and Anna Marie were said to be on again, off again due to John leaving to get wasted. It was not 100% clear, but it did appear that this was pretty much John driving the turbulence of this on again, off again kind of thing. He checked himself into rehab in September 2020 and checked out before his 60 days were up to host SNL, as we discussed earlier. He relapsed again shortly after and went back to rehab in December 2020. Completed his 60 days and was out in February 2021, right? So let's jump to November 24th, because the baby wasn't born in December.
Okay.
The baby was born November 24th, 2021.
All
Okay.
right. Yeah.
All right.
Got it.
So now I did a little quick math. That would be November 24th, 2021 minus 280 days.
Okay.
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 So that puts conception in the ballpark of February 17th.
Okay.
All right.
Valentine's Day.
2021. So, yes, that would be February 17th, 2021, if the baby went to full term. With flexibility, of course, if the baby was early or late.
Right.
But wait.
There's more.
Wasn't John in rehab?
Dun, dun, dun. Was he?
Yes and no.
Okay.
There's no articles that really say the exact date in February that he checked out of rehab.
Right.
But I did start to notice a pattern in the articles coming out between February 20th and the 30th, stating that he is now out of rehab. Blah, 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 blah.
There is no February 30th.
Yes. Between February 20th and February 31st. I added 10 days.
It's okay. I gotcha.
Delusion. Ooh.
Okay, so within those 10 days.
So for me, that indicates that Mulaney was probably out for at least a few days before the news got a hold of it and published the story.
Right.
So the possible dates are anywhere from early February to like February 20th when the articles started to be published. Right. So
yeah.
we'll say that. So now we have a possible like realistic time frame that the baby could have been conceived and John could have been there to actually perform the act of the conception. So the little problem with the divorce being announced in May, just because it was announced in May, doesn't mean that they didn't already agree to the divorce prior to that.
Yes.
And we're just working out the logistics, the details, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So that said, John allegedly claimed he asked Anna for a divorce in October of 2020 when he had gotten out of rehab the first time from this story.
Okay.
But Anna allegedly...
I like the use of allegedly, and so do our lawyers.
Allegedly corrected that statement and made it clear that he did not ask for the divorce in October. He asked for the divorce in February.
And I'm inclined to believe her.
If John did get out of rehab between early February and February 20th, if he did indeed initiate the divorce as soon as he got out of rehab, and he did all that before sexy time, it's actually very plausible that the timeline could be in favor and could show that he didn't actually cheat on his wife. That said, if he had the proof, it would be publicized. My intent with this proposed timeline is to only show that there is a timeline out there that does seem to be realistic.
I agree that the timeline could be realistic. I do. I think that whatever was going on between John and Anna was going on probably throughout the entirety of 2020. And I think that the sleazeball move of it all is that he had met Olivia before they are parading around now saying they met whenever they did. They had met before that. That's public knowledge. She had done an interview about having met him, having met both of them years before and trying to be their friend. Where my mind goes is whether or not they had asked for the divorce or not at this point. He's still married. He is fresh out of rehab. He scrolls through his phone, who's the sluttiest actress I know, and does what he does. I don't care if...
Well, let's be honest. He fucked up.
He fucked up.
He didn't want a kid.
Right.
It just happened.
He fucked up.
Yeah.
He fucked up. And it's annoying because...
That's my assumption.
Allegedly he fucked up. No, for me with him, of course, it's fun to theorize about whether he cheated and the messy timeline and Olivia Munn is a whore and whatever. Sorry, I'm a feminist. I swear, I just really fucking hate Olivia Munn. The issue with this is just the fact that he has made so much money talking about how much he loves that woman and how much of a doting, adorable husband and what a great couple they are. And now, set's completely changed, obviously. Now he's milking I went to rehab and now I have a baby cash cow and I'm selling shirts that say I saw him fresh out of rehab.
What?
That's what's annoying about him. You're obviously allowed to change your opinion. People get divorced all the time. You don't have to, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just the sleazy money-making mentality of it all. Like you built a fan base based on being couple goals. No one knew who you were before you were joking about your wife. No one gave a shit. You were an ugly SNL writer with an annoying voice. And now you're fucking famous. And she's doing really good. I was scrolling through her Instagram yesterday. She was just in San Francisco recently.
Nice.
Yeah, good for her.
Hi.
Team Anna. All the way.
So yeah, with the way that he talks about his wife, like what I see is very edgy.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen him talk about her in like an actual positive light. I mean, obviously the way he talks about her is positive, but it has that edgy feel to it.
Yes.
Is there a non-edgy version of that I haven't seen?
That would be the Instagram, social media, posting pictures of us, my super cute, adorable, that kind of stuff. But even so, as like I was saying earlier, with the edginess of it, in the context of this is a guy who loves his wife, I could see that as being, like, I would take that as loving, because if I walked into you having a meeting and you telling your people, my wife is a bitch and I like her so much, I would be like, that's so sweet, because I would know what you meant by it.
Well, that would be a problem at work. Maybe not at home. But
I'm just saying it when you take it out of the context of they're in a happy, loving relationship, then it's kind of like, oh, yeah, you're right, that is kind of edgy. He doesn't ever actually say anything nice about her. And to that point, when we were listening to his SNL monologue from September 2020, he talks a lot about other people's wives being bitches too.
Right.
He mentions it like 3 different times. I get it, he's a comedian and comedians are meant to push the boundaries, but it's just, when you take the context, I know how to say words. It's an interesting thing to think about.
I was looking at his Instagram and I realized that he got rid of his past.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to align some historical, references. Is he using his phone in early February? If he is, then that might mean that he was out of rehab earlier than I thought. I don't know.
He is big time. Wiped it.
But I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I saw it earlier and it just didn't register with me, the from scratch.
Yep.
I got it. That's kind of clever. Like I can't.
I'm not gonna say it's not clever. I'm not gonna say I don't find it funny.
I can't
I
hate
just
on
think
him.
he's a sleazeball. That's all. I just don't want to be married to him.
All right, we got off track here.
We've milked the John Mulaney cow.
No, we have not.
Oh, we haven't? Oh,
Oh,
shit.
no.
Oh, God. My bad.
We are not done yet.
Okay.
We are not. So, the question now, why did John do this? Not wife guys. Not why did the wife guys do this?
Why did John?
Why did John do this?
Okay.
So, do you have any thoughts on why him in his particular situation, where this came from? Like, why would he have done this?
I think, and this is just my opinion based on nothing. I have no knowledge. I don't know him. Whatever.
Allegedly. Emily says,
I think that he is a good person. I think that he can be genuine. I think that he struggles with mental health and he struggles with his addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we have no idea what was going on in their marriage, so I don't want to comment on that. I do think that what he did, he screwed up. I would paint him as the bad guy in that situation. I don't think he's a bad person. I think he made a bad mistake. And I think that his attempts at from scratch, as you call it, is a way to separate who he actually is from who he is when he's battling his addictions. Because if you do look at his Instagram now, it's pretty cute. He's got pictures of his baby all over. Like, I think...
New brand.
Yes. I think that they were going to get divorced anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a come to Jesus, I need to do the right thing in this particular relationship because there's a child involved now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he did a really bad thing. It's to me, it seems pretty cut and dry that addiction had a lot to do with his decisions that he made.
Yeah, I thought that as well. Like back in, well, I guess when Anna Marie moved to DC,
mm-hmm.
and he was in New York, throwing the fit that everybody recalls, or reported anyways. Was she a part of that? Is their relationship, covered in scandal, like right from the beginning?
Right.
Obviously it is.
Yeah.
Where we are now.
Yeah.
Hindsight,
yes.
right?
No, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing to take, because I honestly, before you asked me that question, I didn't know that was going to be my answer.
Right.
I'm very, you know how I am. I'm very quick to throw people in jail and throw away the key.
Oh yeah. You don't have time for rationale.
Yeah.
I just punishment.
I just punish, but
yes.
No, that's how I feel about that particular one. I don't think that I don't like the monetization and the milking it and all that stuff, but I don't think that his wife guy shtick was necessarily fake.
I do have a few that I think, well, I kind of ranked them like too easy to too complex.
Okay.
Theories as to why John himself would be in this situation and why he would do something like this, right? First things first, the too easy, the 7-year-ish itch.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair.
Too simple.
Yeah.
Next is love addiction.
Okay.
Did he use fresh love to fuel his addiction cravings? To your point, and I don't speculate that it might not have been fresh feelings.
Right.
But it could have been clear feelings.
Yes.
So that could have been fresh.
Yeah.
High on life.
Some people build furniture, other people make babies.
Does he feel like he can't live up to the image that he's portrayed of himself after messing up so badly? So COVID came around. He immediately started, the shenanigans, allegedly. And once you go down a road like that, and you specifically, you feel responsible for certain things, and that can dictate how you approach life. So is it that he feels that he was just too tarnished to make it up, or to reinvent that image, or to refresh that image to his wife, one, and to his community?
I think that you might have a point when you're talking specifically about with Anna Marie, but as far as a comedian, as a public figure, I don't think so, because this wasn't the first time.
What I meant by that with the community is he knows that his wife shtick is up.
Right. Okay.
And the only way to really break out of a corner is to break out of a fucking corner.
Right.
And that's a shock and awe campaign.
Yeah. Which is probably why he leans into it. I mean, he's always been very, because it was not the first time he went to rehab. He had addiction problems since he was a teenager.
Right.
Talks about it in his skits. He's been very open about that for many, many years. But yeah, no, I think that's a good point. And I think maybe that's why I saw him fresh out of rehab shirts really bother me. I don't know, but that's a good point.
Well, that's how some people deal with, especially I don't want to
generalize.
Yeah, exactly. With comedians who have drug issues, but that's how they cope with it. They embrace it, and I don't want to say romanticize it, but they do.
It's like being any type of, you're a comedian, you're a writer, you're a fucking content creator, any type of content creation,
creative.
It's all fodder.
I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Now, my final theory.
Okay.
I know I had a lot of theories.
You have a lot of theories.
And I think they're valid.
No, I'm not saying they're not.
They're valid.
I'm not saying they're not.
These are the best damn theories that ever damn theoried.
Spit it out.
All right. So this may not answer the immediate why, but it could have been the kindling that started the fire, right?
Okay.
So as you mentioned earlier, as we were discussing, we did see John Mulaney and Pete Davidson back in November of 2019.
Oh, did you look up the email with the tickets to find out when we went?
No.
Oh.
I remember it because it was the first thing that we did after we got married.
Aww.
Yes. And it was November because we were waiting for it.
Yes.
It seemed that John was kind of playing like the mentor role to Pete a little bit during the show.
Yeah.
You picked up on that, I guess.
That was the vibes they put out for sure.
Pete was like the loose cannon. John was the quote-unquote
guy.
adult in the pair. What is interesting to me is that in February, on February 18th, 2020, it was reported that Pete had recently checked into a rehab facility in Arizona.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay, so this is February 18th, 2020. John, 6 to 7 months later, is checking himself into rehab now. Could their comedy tour be the thing that triggered all of the following events to come? Is it possible that Pete could have inadvertently influenced the downward spiral?
Pete Davidson has influenced the downward spiral of so many fucking people at this point. I'm inclined to blame this whole episode on him.
But it was just a weird, like, and it just popped up at like the last minute. And I'm like, wait a goddamn minute.
No, it makes sense to me.
That's a smoking gun right there. It doesn't answer the question.
It doesn't answer the why.
But it does. It like answers the under why.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. There you go. So that could have been it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and I think this is what the wife guy is what did he lose?
Right.
With this.
Yeah.
If his brand is built around his wife and wife not there no more, but he
needs a new brand.
He's him still.
So what did he lose? Anna Marie. That's it.
He moved. He had to move. His act can adapt to either story.
Right.
The breakup or the love addiction. He can always rely on his backups at SNL and Seth Meyers as a writing staff.
Yep.
He still has a quote unquote wife and a small family.
Right.
So all in all, I mean, he hasn't lost a thing outside of some internet shaming, which I thought he got, but apparently his community backed him up and shamed.
He was backed up big time.
I didn't realize that until today. So
he was backed up big time. Big time. Which is why I felt the need to really point out that he was a real sleazeball.
Right.
Because he was. Like, let's be real.
My last part. Where does he go from here? Was his new relationship a chase? Will this eventually burn out?
I mean, the kid's almost a year, right? So this is I'll be interested to see. I think he's still touring right now. I'll be interested to see what happens when he has kind of a break.
Right.
I think that's when we'll get a glimpse into what's next.
I have not done barely any research for the rest of your topics.
That's good because I don't think they're as interesting because they're more cut and dry.
Yes.
I wanted to start with John Mulaney because not only is he the OG, this was such a big deal when this happened last year, but because it's messy and speculative. The next ones, we have admissions. We know. So yeah, they're just more recent, and that's what's very interesting to me about it is that John happened last year, but these happened in the last 10 days.
Right.
So we move on to Mr. Maroon 5 himself, Adam Levine. Hot as hell rock star marries hot as hell model. That always turns out good, right? Okay, so Adam Levine had been with his wife, Bahati Prinsloo, for like a decade. They got married in 2014. They were dating for a few years before that, spotted on red carpets, very open about the relationship. She's currently pregnant with their third child. I know the first one was a girl. I think the second one might have been a girl, too. Adam is another wife guy, TM. Different kind of wife guy. Because his brand, his band, his rock star image is not defined by him being a wife guy, but his personal life is defined by him being a wife guy. So different than Mulaney, because it's not about his career, but he's still very open about his wife guy tendencies. So he has supported her publicly over the years. He goes to all of her runway shows. He's always giving her a standing ovation, making a big deal out of that. She has been the star of some of his music videos, so some where they share some steamy scenes. And in the Girls Like You video, I don't know if you ever saw it, but it had...
Maybe.
It was a music video full of cameos. So basically, he was on a rotating stage, and the camera would go around, and behind him would be, like, Ellen DeGeneres dancing, and then the next time it would go around, and it would be Camila Cabello, and like...
So it's like the Lost the light tower.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, exactly. So at the end, the last one that he turns around to and hugs, it's Bahati and their daughter Dusty. So she is a part of the content. She's obviously they've been together for over 10 years. She's got to be a muse for some of his mediocre songwriting. You know, she's a part of it.
Okay.
He has told anyone and everyone who will ever listen to him, whether it's on The Voice, on an interview, at a concert, that he wanted to have a ton of kids with her, like wanted a huge, big family. His family's the most important thing. He's always saying that. And he has several gushy Instagram posts about her. If you scroll through the last 10 years of Instagram, she's all over his Instagram. He makes a big deal of being like, this my wife, I like her, good stuff, right? That's all well and good and fine. We get to September 2022, and we have Instigate. This was huge. This blew up into a meme so quickly. It was over before it started. That's how quickly this meme blew up. Last week happened, okay? This quote-unquote model, Summer Stroh, she comes out on TikTok with screenshots from her Instagram DMs that alleges that Adam has basically been sexting her in the cringiest way possible. I didn't watch any of her stuff because I thought that was just like rude to do, so I didn't want to give her views. But like, it was basically like her, and then the green screen TikTok background was the screenshots, and she would like talk about it.
Why?
I don't, because she was just coming out. She's telling my story, telling my side of things, right?
Wow.
So yeah, she comes out
and this, like, he hadn't had the talk yet, like with his wife.
No, she just came out on TikTok and just blew it up. Literally, she like out of nowhere, she's just like, "Hey, by the way, Adam Levine is sexting me," and put it out there.
And is he still with this person?
She never says that they hooked up.
Okay.
It's just screenshots of messages that he sent her, and I'm going to read some of them to you.
Okay.
So it's very cringy. He would say things like, "I need to go rub one out to you, then my head will be clear." This was the most memeable of them all.
What if he was cleaning his glasses?
You know that's not what he means.
He needed to see clearer.
No. The biggest meme one, "Holy fuck. Holy fucking fuck. That body of yours is absurd."
Is that after or during the rub out?
Probably during.
Okay. That's talented.
Yeah. It is truly unreal how fucking hot you are. There was more.
That one's not that bad.
I mean, I would be pissed if I saw. I'm Googling right now to see if I can find more, because there was one that was like gross.
Did she post like any like responses or just his messages? And did he?
Yeah.
He admitted to this, I assume.
Oh yeah, he admitted to it. We'll get to it.
Okay.
So that the holy fucking fuck, that body of yours is absurd. She said, "Next date, I'll be like, do you want to make out with the devil?" I don't know what that means.
She said that?
Mm-hmm.
Next what?
Next date, I'll be like, "Do you want to make out with the devil?" Don't know what that means.
Okay.
He said, "Ha ha, how are you such an hourglass? My God." He sent her, "I'm now obsessed with you." She said, "Dude, aren't you like married? LOL. Yeah, but it's a bit complicated. I might get away."
Okay, there's that Facebook status.
Then we've got, this is
See, that could have made this so much easier.
A lot.
He could have just changed his Facebook status to "it's complicated."
Yes. A lot of this is in response to like pictures that she would post on her story. So she'd post a picture and then he'd reply to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
This isn't like a DM thread.
No, this does happen in your DMs. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then she posts another picture. He says, seriously, fuck. And then she sent him a picture. You can't see it. It's private. She doesn't show what she sent. But he says, I may need to see the booty. Fuck. Distract yourself by fucking with me. Just a lot of stuff that's not stuff that you want to read your husband saying to other women.
And this woman is what?
She's a model,
okay.
I guess. Watching your ass jiggle on that table will permanently scar me, but otherwise I'm amazing. Fuck, I'd do anything for it. So he's sexting, right? She's got a lot of like, oh, ha ha, like responses back. But I mean, who knows what the hell she was doing? You can delete anything on your end.
Right.
To make things look a certain way.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I
would be very interested to know like how this kicked off. Like.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know why she did it. I don't know.
It seems like fishing to me. Like this seems targeted a little bit.
It might be, but and then he also allegedly told her that he wanted to name his unborn child after her. So there was that. Huh. And then after this happens, the floodgates open. Like,
do you like a brand deal with that? I'm gonna name my kid after you.
So the floodgates open. Like 5 other Instagram model types come forward with allegations of inappropriate messages, some with screenshots, some not. Just, kind of, that thing. Usually when one person comes forward, that's when other people feel empowered to come forward. So that's kind of what happened, right?
Yes.
The fact that it blew up into a meme is insane, and it happened so quick. The most memeable message of all. It's because the messages are cringy. It's like the things that you would get when you were like 13.
Right.
Like, oh, I gotta see the booty, like just stupid shit like that. The most memeable of all was the holy fucking fuck, that body of yours is absurd. You'd see it like...
It sounds like a Tenacious D song.
Right. You'd see like a picture of the Pope holding up the body of Christ, and then like, holy fucking fuck, Danny DeVito in a onesie, a screenshot of HTML code, and then Gritty, the Flyers pulled that one out.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. The Flyers mascot Gritty and his holy fucking fuck, your body is absurd. They pulled that one out. So this happens. It just happened recently. It was like a few days ago or like a week ago at this point. Does she forgive him? I don't know. Adam posted a statement on his Instagram story. He confirmed that, the screenshots were real, that it was him. He said, I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in a flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair, however. I did cross a line, blah, blah, blah. So as of when I was writing this the other day, they were spotted together at an airport. They were heading to Vegas for the Maroon 5 having a residency right now. Like I said, she's pregnant with their 3rd child. It looks like they're sticking it out for now. I don't really know where they go from here. I think that, it's like when Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. It's like, you're married to fucking Beyonce and you're cheating. Like, if you Google her, she's hot as hell. What is he doing? Why is he with these fucking what is it about people who just need to reach outside of their relationships in that way, Because, yeah, technically he didn't cheat. But if you were messaging people like that, I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah, that's a form of cheating. I mean, that's like intent.
Right, exactly. I don't know if she's going to forgive him. Part of me kind of hopes she does and hopes that he gets his shit together because they're family. Who knows? He was pretty quick to jump out and be like, yeah, he didn't deny it. He was like, yeah, that was me. I fucked up,
I mean, I think that shows character, but also shows defeat
right
at the same time.
Yeah.
The problem I see, and just something that I've experienced as well, is once you betray trust, that boundary, it doesn't really come back.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is I'm Team Bahati.
In this scenario, we did the analysis on John. So Why did Adam do it?
I think he's just a horny rock star who knows he can get any girl he wants.
Yeah. Now, is there other allegations that this isn't the first time? Well, you got the 5 other models.
I'm sure it's not the first time.
Right.
I'm sure it's not.
Right. It's hard to separate the famous people, superstar, like marriage, relationship, you know, I don't want to call it phenomena because it's just the way it is. But it's just different. Yeah. I mean, being in that kind of lifestyle and being surrounded by good looking folks a lot.
Yeah.
Whether it be by design or targeted or whatever. Yeah, that definitely, and power. Like the power thing. I mean, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
All right. So why did he do it? Did we even answer that?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because he's a horny rock star who knows he can get any girl he wants.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes. I think he was thinking with his dick.
Well, maybe he misses being a rock star.
Maybe he misses the single life.
Maybe he's been tied down for too long.
Well, maybe he should get a fucking divorce then.
Oh, I agree. I'm still fixated on the fact that I don't understand how he was reaching out to these people or these women.
Right.
Rather. I want to know so much. I wish I would have researched this. Jesus. I'm going to follow up. Whole episode.
Okay.
Whole episode on this.
All right.
So now going back to the concept of the wife guy, I don't see it with Adam. I don't agree with it. I don't think, I think it was I think we go back to the superstar thing. And I think it's like us trying to make a bad podcast work.
Right.
You kind of just want to force it. And you can't do that all the time.
Yeah, he is a wife guy, a different kind of wife guy.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I see the wife guy, and I did look up the definition earlier, and I forgot to bring it with me.
Shocker.
My computer's right in front of me, but I'm not going to look it up. And it really like emphasized the building the brand of that lifestyle.
Right.
And the thing with Adam is he already had a brand.
Yeah.
He is the brand.
Yes.
Like you said earlier. It kind of just disqualifies him.
Right.
But
he is Maroon 5. Maroon 5 is him.
He didn't lose anything in this.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he won't.
And he, at the moment, he hasn't even lost
his wife. Yeah.
So, who knows?
We'll see. This is going to be an interesting one to see how it plays out for sure. I will say he's one that it didn't surprise me. He seems like the type. He's just got that douchey kind of like fuckboy vibe,
I could see that, and I probably would have answered that same way or harsher 5 years ago.
Right.
But I do think that I've tried to be more inclusive in my thinking, and have a more of a holistic approach to assessing people. So,
gotcha.
Yes.
And then, just a few days after Adam Levine, we have Ned from the Try Guys.
Can we rename Ned before we get farther into this? I don't like that name.
That's his name. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm like, every time I'm talking to Emily about this today, I'm like, that guy, the Try Guy. What is it? What is it? George?
Just call him the Try Guy.
No, I actually called him Ned every time. It just doesn't feel right.
It's just a shitty name.
It's a bad name.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ned.
So
Ned. Your new name is Fred.
No. So Ned from the Try Guys, otherwise known as the poor man's John Mulaney.
Is that real?
No, I made that up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a joke, and it was. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I honestly didn't know really much about the Try Guys before. Everything that I know about the Try Guys has been forced upon me this week.
Well, I didn't. I think I saw like a commercial for them a while ago.
Because they have like a Food Network show that's coming out. And I think my friend Naria watched them for a while. So like she would mention it, but I never consumed their content.
Yeah, all I know is that they were YouTube and now they're TV.
Yeah, they were like YouTube, BuzzFeed thing. It's 4 guys and they like try weird things. That's why they're called the Try Guys. So like wig making, tap dancing, colonics, the whatever. part of their shtick as the four of them is like being good guys. And Ned really leaned into being the good guy who loves his wife. Also, apparently this guy has a really weird voice. I could not bring myself to look it up to listen because I just don't care. But my wife is a catchphrase of his, apparently in his weird voice. He says, all I hear is Borat, honestly. But they've sold merch with that phrase, and they have a little bobblehead that has a button. It says my wife in his voice when you press it. I know.
Can you get me one of those made of me for Christmas?
Yes.
My wife.
So his wife's name is Ariel. She kind of became a staple in their content because this has been over a decade of them doing this, right? She's been a staple of their content. Fans really connected to their relationship and their family. And something that I think is important to mention just in the backstory of this is that apparently Ariel has mentioned over the years that there have been times where she has felt insecure in their relationship because she's older than Ned, but he never made her feel like she wasn't worth loving. So they've done like advice things. They've done interviews. Like I think they wrote like a book or an article with like marriage advice. So that's just something that has been mentioned. So that's all I know about the Try Guys. That's all I really want to know. I don't really care about them, but whatever.
I think the big thing that we see with Ned is he actually is a wife guy.
Yeah.
I think he's the only one on this list that is 100% a wife guy.
Yeah, he's the definition.
Yes.
Or was anyway. So then we get to last week, and Harry Styles ruins another relationship. So what happened? Basically, there was some internet sleuthing going on because Ned hadn't been featured much in recent Try Guys content. There was a Reddit thread going, kind of like conspiratizing about what's going on, where is he? Someone posted a video that has now been deleted of Ned making out with a much younger woman who turned out to be an employee of the Try Guys. I forget her name. Ariel's the wife. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I didn't care enough to Google her name. But this happened at a Harry Styles concert at his last show at Madison Square Garden last week, which was like Celebrity Palooza. So it's funny that fucking everybody was there. Ashton Kutcher was there, and all anybody can talk about is this fucking BuzzFeed guy cheating on his wife.
Right.
So this was a big deal because not only was he cheating on his wife, he was tarnishing the Try Guys good guy brand, and the affair involved someone who worked with them. And very, very quickly, like this came out early, I think it was like Wednesday, this was all happening.
Right.
The Try Guys, they severed ties with him. He's no longer part of the group. They were like, he doesn't reflect what we put out there. Like, just real quick, they were quick to jump on it. And he had already been kind of pulled back from the content. So it feels like...
Because they had assumed...
It feels like it might have been something that they knew about or it may have known about. And they were just waiting for it to go public to cut ties.
Yeah.
Because I don't think his wife knew until it came out.
Right.
So there's a little bit of...
It's hard to hide those work relationships.
Yeah.
As much as you think you can.
Yeah. But again, he admitted to it. In his statement, he said that he had a consensual workplace relationship. Family is the only thing that is important, and that his focus right now is on Ariel and his children. The thing that I remembered earlier that I wanted to tell you is that phrase, consensual workplace relationship, also got memed, and NBC tweeted that phrase with a picture of Jim and Pam the other day. And someone said, could you imagine NBC using your affair to like push The Office in 2022? Like, what the fuck is the world coming to?
Wow. That's like the reverse. Like everybody uses The Office to explain.
Yes. Exactly.
The stuff into things.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, there's no word yet on if they will be divorcing. I think you told me they have a podcast. That's how much I really didn't care about this guy because I didn't even know that. Who knows if that's gonna keep going? It makes me feel sad because of what I read about her having obvious insecurities about being older than him, and then him in turn cheating on her with someone so much younger. I don't know. He's 35. Oh my gosh, she's only 1 year older than him.
Oh my god.
Ugh, never mind.
Right.
Ariel, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'd break up with her too.
Okay, but still.
It was after midnight, and it's 1 year and 1 day.
Still, that's an insecurity that she had met. That would be like, I would feel very betrayed if you turned around and cheated on me with someone super, super thin and tall and blonde, like someone opposite of me.
Well, yeah, but she was insecure about the age thing before any of this shit happened.
I know.
It has nothing to do with it.
I'm just saying. And also this consensual workplace relationship girl, whoever the fuck she was also engaged to someone else.
Right.
So it was just a big fuckery. And honestly, good on the Try Guys for booting him. Especially,
well, they got to preserve their brand.
Right. Yeah. And he fucked the brand up.
Yeah.
This is not Adam Levine, where he, Maroon 5 is Adam Levine,
Right.
He's a part of
Who the fuck is Maroon 5?
Right, exactly. It's Adam Levine and the 4 guys that stand behind him.
I thought that was Adam's middle name.
So yeah, good on them for kicking him out. And it's funny because of all the celebrities, if you will, he's the most low stakes because he's really just an influencer. But he's lost the most. Even if he keeps his wife, he lost his job over this.
Oh, yeah.
Was it worth it? Probably fucking not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I can totally understand getting horny at a Harry Styles concert. Like, shit happens. But that doesn't mean you have an affair.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I got on him. Why did he do it? With him, I just get real douchebag vibes. Like, he's probably cheated on every girlfriend he's ever had. That's the vibe. That's what I'm going with. I don't like him. Don't trust him. Don't care to know more about him. Don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right. So I know, like I said earlier, I spent a lot of time on John. That was just a very interesting story for me.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed that. That was fun. I do feel bad, however, that he is reliving this moment.
Right.
Because of other people's, fun times.
Yeah, that sucks.
That does suck. I do feel bad for people that are in that situation. They do, just because what they did isn't necessarily the best thing in the world they could have done. Mm-hmm. You serve your time. Right. And then now that's back. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we've talked about the 3. We didn't really get into too many of the whys when it came to the Adam and Ned story. We did a little, but not really too crazy. Now, the reason for that is a lot of these reasons, thinking about the wife guy in general, mm-hmm. there can be some generalized things that go along with this. Mm-hmm. And again, this is something that I thought long and hard about. And being in the situation where I knew nothing about said wife guys, mm-hmm. I had to make all this shit up. Point blank. Okay. I don't think they make wife guy Y lists. Right. When I was like looking at this, I got some thoughts, what could be done, what couldn't be done, and why would these people do these things? Mm-hmm. And Adam, he's got to go. He doesn't belong here. Okay. He's not a wife guy. He's Adam Levine. Okay. Okay. All right. Any of the whys that I'm going to come up with for these 2 like micro celebrities mm-hmm. compared to Adam Levine, they're not going to work for Adam Levine. He breaks the whole fucking thing. He breaks the system. Okay. All right. All right. So Adam's out. Okay. And I don't know who decided that he should be involved in this. The internet. I have a great candidate that I think should replace him. Lay it on me. It's a little what? So lay it on me. Oh, stop After it. The podcast. God. I'm still sick, bro. So, little controversial one here. We flipped the script a little bit. Not a wife guy, but a husband woman. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I'm in.
So I didn't do a lot of research, but I think we know enough about this female. She is a comedian.
Okay.
And she too kind of made her brand around lifestyle with family and relationship to husband and being pregnant as well.
Okay.
So this is Ali Wong.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
she trapped his ass.
Right.
That's what she
She trapped his ass and then she smothered him in her money.
Yes. That's interesting.
Right. So, like I said, I didn't go into a lot of detail with Ali Wong, but I do think that somebody at her level, similar careers, not an Adam Levine who's like a world superstar, like he don't belong here.
Right.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Introduce Ali Wong. So, once you start like looking at why would this group of folks want to throw everything away that they've built, or even not throw it away, like John Mulaney, for instance. I mean, he's not losing anything. He's just changing his fucking act.
Right.
That's all it is. No big deal. I don't have a cool voice like him, so you just got to deal with what I'm doing.
I just need to change my act.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just need to change my voice. Oh, all wrong. So the one thing, and this was the first why that I brought up earlier that I had to take back. So this might be a little hard to describe. So just tell me if you follow as we go along here.
Okay.
All right. So when you're creating this brand or this lifestyle or whatever it is you're doing, I feel like there's a little bit of a gray area in that relationship.
Okay.
Okay? Because you're not harboring the relationship. You're harboring the business.
Right.
And that's what a lot of the focus is going towards, in my opinion. So people follow, they get invested, they get intrigued, they want to know about you, they want to know about your wife, you know, your husband or kids or whatever that is, and they get vested. The real value, and one of the things that I looked at earlier, is what is a social following worth? When these people sign on for this following, you know, they're following you and your story, you are creating a business. You're not talking about your life, you're talking about your business. And I feel like there may be a chance where that blurs the line of wife and employee.
Right.
So I do feel like there's a little bit of a skewed perspective on this, possibly, where these people want whatever it is that they're doing so bad that they prioritize that in their mind. And as it's working, they do it more.
Yeah.
Therefore, as it's working, their relationship with their wife is, or husband, is depleting. And they're disconnecting from the human factor and they're connecting with the business factor. Right?
Yeah.
So there's like just a little bit of like the emotional removal of the relationship itself. And that's something that can kind of just natively happen in these scenarios. That's kind of like why number one. It's really looking at the mental buildup of the business and the emotional disconnect of the partners.
Right.
So that's one of like the deeper probably whys that I came up with, but that is not the only one. Obviously we have the two easies like we talked about earlier. This one is very easy, but it comes with a lot of nuance.
Okay.
And that is just allowing success to go to your head. And that sounds a lot like what Ned did.
Right.
He was in the show.
Yep.
He had power.
He abused it.
Was somebody on the set.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. I think it's just a classic case of success going to your head. Every group has them. I've had them.
Yep.
Just is what it is.
Same. Every time I get a new subscriber on YouTube, I'm like, God, I'm so much better than you.
So the next one,
it'll blow right past me.
I didn't even hear you.
Just kidding.
I was focusing on the podcast.
I'm sorry. I was buying a signed version of Midnight's.
So the next concept here kind of goes kind of similar, but just with a different twist.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like you're just sick of being the good guy.
Okay.
And you just want to be the bad guy.
Okay. Fair enough.
Happens all the time.
Sure.
I don't want to hold up this image anymore.
Yeah.
It's a lot of goddamn work.
Yeah. Call me Billie Eilish because I'm the bad guy.
Right.
Duh.
Right. So there goes another generalized one.
Mm-hmm.
So and this again, I think this is just an extension of the one that I just said, but maybe a little nuance. So creating that perfect image, the wife guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you have an image.
Yeah.
You are preserving that image, and you're making it the best image you possibly can be. But your ambition made you bite off more than you can chew.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can't keep up with it. You now despise it. It's not what you wanted it to be anymore, and you just don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
And you don't want to be around anything that was.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, Ned's wife, because she was deeply ingrained in what he did.
Yeah.
Another thing that I was thinking about, and more specifically for like the John, I think one of the articles that I read, I think it was what it was, like addiction something or another.com. I can't remember which website it was, but they were saying like, John coming out of rehab and telling that story, it helped a lot of people and da 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 da. And right there's a business for change.
Yeah.
And John being a struggling, addict and also struggling in other areas, that can be inspiration for somebody. And that is still something that he can sell. Yeah. Maybe that was just an easy out.
Sure.
For the generalized sake, and what I think is extremely fun with this topic is we were thinking about this earlier and trying to find other
wife guys.
Other wife guys.
Yeah.
Right. And I know they're there.
Oh yeah, they're there.
These aren't freaking Care Bears. I mean,
it just depends. You got like,
it's just you don't associate that, especially like for me.
Right.
I didn't hear the term wife guy until like 3 days ago.
Right. And there's different levels of wife guy too. There's like the couple, like us being a couple is the brand, like Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? Or like Brad and Angelina after that, that kind of stuff. I think that's more common, is the couple building the brand together. So I think that's why it's hard to find like the specific wife guy kind of thing.
You don't really think about it until an article comes out and says that you're a wife guy. So, I mean,
you're right.
they called out 3 of them.
And that, 3 of them make sense to me, except for Adam Levine, which you've so lovingly told me doesn't make sense.
He doesn't belong on this list.
Okay.
He breaks the list.
Okay.
Add my candidate. Ali Wong, you got it. You're the one.
Yes.
All right. So, for our final trick,
yes,
we are going to predict who we think is going to be the next wife guy. Do you have your answer?
I do, and the thing is, I don't like this is not that I think that this person is going to have a cheating scandal. I genuinely hope that they don't. It's just that this is one that I can predict, if something were to happen, that it would blow up the way that this Adam Levine and Ned thing have blown up. Like it would be blown out of proportion on social media. Not saying I think he'll do it. I really hope he does it. Am I going first?
You're spooling up here. I'm not going to jump in line here.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. I really don't think he would. But isn't that the core of a wife guy? You don't think they're going to do it, and then you're shocked when they do. I really, 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 I'm not trying to say I get bad vibes from him. I'm not saying anything like that. Just from the specific behavior, the way that they interact with each other, all of these things, the fact that their fucking children are name dropped in Taylor Swift songs, like, The brand is there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I am team Blake and Ryan forever. They are true couples goals. I would have to castrate him myself. That's all I'm saying.
That's an interesting choice. I see your angle.
It hurts my stomach to even say.
Yeah. I see the angle.
Don't fuck this up, Deadpool.
But is he really a wife guy?
Yes.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I feel like he's like an Adam Levine.
No.
No?
No. As he's aged, he's no longer Ryan Reynolds, the actor. He is Ryan Reynolds, the family man, the funny commercial. I think he might have actually already done a mock wife guy parody, if I'm not correct.
Oh, of course. He'd probably shit that out in a second.
Yeah. So
fucker. I love his just lax approach to everything.
Uh-huh.
It's like, Mint Mobile. Here is a hand we purchased. I love it.
Yeah. So that's just what I'm saying. That's just what I'm saying. I have my heart set on it not happening, but that would be a core shaker for me if it were to.
See, this Ned thing, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go back to Ned again. Mm-hmm. I have to go back to Ned.
Fucking Ned is fucking with your head.
Do you see his description on Instagram?
I never even looked at his Instagram.
He is a wife guy. 100%. He is the epitome of a wife guy.
Oh, yeah, a.k.a. Ariel Fulmer's husband.
Right.
Let's look at her Instagram.
He hasn't even removed the Band-Aid yet. He's still a wife guy somewhere out there.
Yeah. Ew, I hate that she describes herself as a boy mom. That's the most disgusting thing. I hate that.
You know, if she would have just replaced that with his tag like he did for her, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Maybe.
Maybe we need to rethink the whys here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, who's your guess?
So, my guess is a little funny.
I'm shocked.
It's not big stars.
Okay.
It's very similar to the Try Guys thing.
Oh, no.
I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they had their transition to TV.
Oh, okay.
And it's the Bargain Block guys.
Oh, yeah. The gay property brothers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're not gay property brothers. That's not. We know who they are.
Yes, we just don't know their names. Well,
yes.
I don't anyway. Evan and Keith.
Yes, Evan and Keith. Now, I love these two guys.
Yeah.
They're
fantastic. It's a great show.
They are. They're just real. Mm-hmm. But I did notice a few things. Not like things, mm-hmm. but like those things that become things, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, I think Keith really enjoys the spotlight.
Okay.
Very much so.
Well, he's an artist.
He's a lot more outspoken.
Yeah.
He has a lot more attitude. Evan, he's very good at what he does, but it doesn't seem like he's in his comfort zone.
Right.
And it's one of the, I think that they've done really awesome building their brand and their business together. And I think them being together is part of that brand.
Yeah.
I just think it'll be very interesting. So I was thinking about this and I was like, how would you prevent something like that? Mm-hmm. Because one of the key things I think about here is when they started, they don't do this anymore, but it's not a lot different. Mm-hmm. They were living in the homes that they were remodeling, right? So they are with each other 24/7.
Yes.
TV, work, sleep, eat, work, sleep, eat.
Yeah.
Always.
Right.
If they might be able to make it. I don't know. I'm no relationship expert by any means whatsoever. I just have one. And sometimes I take it out and look at it, but
you're a fucking idiot.
I don't necessarily remember where I was going with that because I was distracted by the thing I took out. But I could see that if they continue the daily grind the way that they do, I think that could cause problems.
Yeah.
Especially if they are not necessarily on the same track.
Right.
One of them is more showier, the other one not so much.
That happens with HGTV couples all the time.
Yeah. So I don't want to see it happen, but that's my prediction.
All right. Well, that's wife guys for you. Let's pray that no one else fucks up. Actually, you know what? Keep fucking up. It's good content.
But one thing I would like to say.
Wait. I have a closing statement.
Oh, I was going to close.
I know. I have a closing statement before your closing statement.
Oh, you got the early?
Yes.
The preview closing statement?
We can have an argument over whether you think he's a wife guy or not later, but one thing I will say, Guy Fieri would never. That man is pure and wholesome and deserves the world.
Get your liver hot spotted heads away from him.
Exactly.
No, the only thing I was going to say is, regardless of the current situation for any of these folks, whether or not it's reignited or it's the wound is still bleeding, I do truthfully think, and you said this earlier, I do think that these men will always love these women.
Right.
Shit happens.
Shit happens.
Is what it is.
Don't you turn into one of these guys on me.
Goodbye.
We're building a brand on our relationship here, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Keep it in your pants.
I know. You know I wear jeans 24/7. It's basically a fucking denim chastity belt.
And that's all, folks.
On Thick Ice is created, hosted, and produced by Emily and John Shacklet.
To join the conversation, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at OnThickIcePod, email us at onthickIcepod@gmail.com, or call our hotline 415-494-7275. Subscribe to On Thick Ice wherever you get your podcasts.